Welcome back. Before we get into the Shah conversation, let's talk about State House matters. Now, the government has defended its expenditure in renovating State House Nairobi and other state lodges. State House Controller Katole Metito maintained that the ongoing facelift was being funded and undertaken by the National Intelligence Service and the Department of Defense. Kato, who appeared before the National Assembly Administration and Internal Security Committee, asked for additional 3 billion shillings for State House to finalize pending projects, including renovations. Emmanuel To has more.
The presentation by State House before the National Assembly, Administration and Internal Security Committee Monday saw the House on the Hill defend its allocations, while also giving a breakdown of how much had been spent in the current financial year. State House Controller Katole Metito revealing that the refurbishments at State House Nairobi had been taken over by security agencies.
Funding is not through this 1017. Some is through NIS, some is through defense. They really took it to make it a security area.
The State House Controller explaining why the renovations had to happen.
Do you think it's really practically realistic that we can able to achieve the 100% completion under the specified time frame?
The Honorable Ambassador Segei mentioned the State House Mombasa. If you visit, to some extent it was even condemned by other government agencies that it is not really habitable.
Metito defending the renovations while dismissing concerns that the building had lost its historical face amid the massive works around it.
The building is not a flat roof. Actually, the roof itself, the way it was, it's still there. Because as much as we say, let us not spend public resources, we should also not really, lose the face of a country that says is a power nation in the region.
We know that Kenyans are suffering now and people are being asked to tighten their belts. The first belt that must be tightened is State House. And I think we are spending too much money beautifying State House, which can wait until times are better.
Documents sent to the committee also showing that State House Nairobi has so far spent 775 million shillings out of the estimated project cost of 1.77 billion shillings, with the works currently at 44% of completion, and is getting a proposed allocation of 180 million shillings in the next financial year. In the proposed figures contained in the budget policy statement for the year 2025, State House has been allocated 7.5 billion shillings, comprising recurrent expenditure of 6.8 billion shillings and development expenditure of 715 million shillings. State House has listed several projects that are still underway, which could cost up to 11.5 billion shillings by completion. They include refurbishments of State House Mombasa and Nakuru, state lodges in Eldoret, Sagana, Kisumu, Kakamega, Kisii and Mtito Andei. The 118-year-old building has undergone major changes. The previously heaped roof of terracotta tiles is no longer visible, with an enhancement of vertical wall that runs across the roof line. The chimneys, which were visible in the old look building had two drive-through entrance porches. The two porches have now been replaced with a single one. For the renovations that began about 10 years ago, there's still more to go, even as State House now calls for more allocations from the National Assembly to complete the projects before June 2027. These now raising questions as to the government's priorities amidst calls for austerity. Emmanuel To, Citizen TV, Parliament Buildings, Nairobi.
All right, let's continue that Shah conversation that we're having with Dr. Brian Lishenga, the chairman, RUFA, Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association of Kenya. Dr. Lishenga, thanks for making time and for staying with us. You had mentioned that your meeting bore no fruit, and at this point, it's cash or no service. But you had said that when you're willing to sit down with the government and have a plan, why didn't you table a plan that could have been adopted for the solution going forward?
No, Trevor, we actually tabled a plan. And just to make it clear, there is no single private hospital in Kenya that is closed. Even now, as we are speaking, private hospitals and faith-based hospitals are open. We are continuing to offer service.
Except it's in cash now.
Except that we cannot continue to extend credit to a creditor, a debtor that has proven that they cannot pay. So we have just put a pause on that, and we have been very clear in our communication that it is temporary, because we intend this to end very soon. We did put counter proposals. In fact, we have been proposing since the transition began that SHA should have adopted a first in, first out mechanism of settlement of claims. Right now, what SHA is doing, they have adopted a last in, first out. So every time you hear this narrative that we are paying SHA claims, they are actually paying last in, first out. But historical claims that are supposed to be settled are not being settled. The other argument that has been made is that money is money, for instance, that we can give you money now, you just count it as NHIF money regardless of where it has come from. We have an issue with this because there are service providers who are providing care right now under SHA. We have to pay them for the care they are providing, but they have not been paid in many hospitals for care they provided under NHIF. So you cannot basically shift that amount. Those services still need to be paid for. But Trevor, the point that we have made to the ministry consistently, that this is not about hospitals. This is not about hospitals. As you know, a lot of hospitals may adjust. And one of the things we fear about this course of action is that the state may become numb to the suffering of Kenyans and just say, let Kenyans continue paying anyway. And you understand that a lot of these providers may find a way to adjust, okay? So one of the ways is say we accept only other insurances, or maybe say we only accept cash payments. The businesses could adjust that way. The concern we have, because we have a relationship with these patients, and especially in rural areas, I'm thinking about where I come from, for instance, people in Kakamega, in Navaholo, in Lurambi. I have been to some of those villages, and I can tell you for sure, Trevor, that they cannot adjust. They are not able to adjust their pockets. And therefore, we have taken this action very painfully. And the reason is we have given the analogy of a patient who has a tumor. If you have a tumor or a mass that is growing, you have two options. You could let it grow and kill you, or you could go through fairly painful surgery and remove the mass and then have a very long productive life. So in our view, the action of demanding that healthcare is financed properly in Kenya is intended to cure long-term the problem of underfunding of healthcare. Just remember, Trevor, we signed the Abuja Declaration as a country. We are supposed to spend 15% of GDP by now on healthcare. We are spending about 4.6%. And if you look at what is happening on budgets, year in, year out, we are actually reducing funding to the Ministry of Health. To make it worse, with the changes that have happened with the USAID, in the US, the donors who are funding a huge chunk of our budget, that has been pulled out. So we are in a position as a country where we have to take bold decisions in terms of financing of healthcare. This is now fully our responsibility. But what we feel saddened about, because as providers, we are also slightly more informed than the normal Kenyan about what is going on. So what we feel saddened about is that the burden of financing healthcare in Kenya has been left to the common mwananchi. It is the common mwananchi now that is funding healthcare services. If you ask me, there are people who say that, Daktari, it can't be all bad. I went to a hospital and my bill for SHA was paid. I just wanted to correct that, because it is a very strange notion. It is not that your bill for the hospital was paid. It is that the hospital agreed to extend credit. So the money didn't arrive. So people need to make a distinction. At the point where you say SHA paid for me, SHA didn't pay for you. What actually happened is that you went to a hospital and a hospital extended credit to SHA because they believe that the contract would be honored. So we have not ceased services. We have just said that the creditor needs to behave themselves. And let me just make an extra point here, Trevor. Kenyan people have a contract with SHA. It might be unwritten, but part of the reason we fund SHA through our taxes and our contributions is that we have an unwritten contract that when I fall sick, you will stand by me. So there are two contracts we are talking about here. There's the contract between a Kenyan and SHA. and there's a contract between SHA and the provider. So one of the approaches we are taking, if you go to a hospital and you are SHA registered and you end up with a cash bill, ask that hospital to give you that invoice, walk to your nearest SHA office and tell them to reimburse you.
And claim it.
Claim it.
But Dr. Lishanga, you know, aren't you punishing the wrong people here? Because the patients have nothing to do with their accrued debts.
It's a very interesting question, Trevor. As I said, I gave you an analogy of a painful surgery, but I can extend this a little bit more. As it is today, the healthcare system is not functioning. The healthcare system is problematic. The vast majority of Kenyans who go to primary healthcare facilities, level 2 facilities, level 3 facilities, find either the hospitals are unequipped or when they need a lab test, they are actually asked to pay. When they need drugs, they are actually asked to go across the street. So Trevor, let's just be honest here. We have reached a point where we are saying we are naked. That is the point where we are. Even if we were to keep quiet, Kenyans will still continue suffering. So the point is we have come out in public now and with the interest of our patients, because we see them. Trevor, I should tell you that it's very difficult for a patient who is suffering and you are having a money conversation. We don't want to have money conversations with patients. I don't think healthcare providers want to have money conversations. They want to have treatment conversations with patients. But when you are in a situation where you are telling a patient, this care is expensive, your benefit package is very small, we cannot. I give you an example. When we were going through the public participation and trying to justify why Kenyans should pay more, remember, we used to pay 500 shillings if you are an informal sector. And for people who are on salary, the maximum was 1,700. But we had to find a justification why Kenyans have to pay more, 2.75% if you are employed. And again, a lot of people who are now informal sector going through this thing called means testing. They are ending up with 1,000, 1,200, 2,000 shillings, 800 shillings, much higher premiums than they used to pay. Not only that, we now have a requirement that you have to pay 1 year in advance for those amounts of money. So what was the justification for the Kenyan people to pay more money? The justification was the benefit package would be better. Now, let me give you an example. When we went through the public participation, for example, on ICU, today you will ask me, you talk about the questions of Kenyans being punished. Kenyans are being punished already because if you end up in ICU, the maximum reimbursement you get per day is something in the region of 4,900. 4,900, an ICU admission per day, even if it was said there will be no margin, just cost only. Just cost, nothing being added, just you're counting syringes and needles, just cost is not going to be less than 200,000 per day. If you are reimbursing 4,000 shillings and yet a Kenyan is paying more, you are charging them more money. And we enriching SHA at the benefit of Kenyans. When we went through the public participation, the proposed reimbursement for ICU, which we also didn't like, by the way, we didn't agree with it, but it looked like an improvement, was 44,000 Kenya shillings per day. However, they had put a limit of 14 days. So it was coming up to, a limit of about 10 days. So it was coming about 450,000. We still told them, in most ICUs, 450,000 will be wiped off in 2 days. So we felt that this was still a small amount. But Trevor, still, 44,000 was much better than 4,000. So we were surprised when the cabinet secretary gazetted a tariff of 4,900 shillings per day for ICU. We saw proposals the other day to improve it to 28,000. 28,000 is still halfway of the worst position where we were. What we are saying is this: if the Kenyan people must pay more money by 2.75%, if they must pay more money by proxy means testing, the justification was the benefit package would be much better. We expect out-of-pocket payments to go lower and not to be in the situation where, one of the promises is that this is the end of Harambes. No more Harambes, no more WhatsApp groups. We have costed healthcare, and I will tell you, they are very brilliant people at the Ministry of Health. They know the cost of treatment for malaria. They understand they can even cost for you a room in a consultation room, how much is the rent per month. They have included it in. For instance, for malaria, it was very clear Normal malaria, 530 something shillings. Now tell me, why did we end up with a Gazette notice of 75 shillings per month or 900 per year? Healthcare is being deliberately underfunded.
Okay.
And we as a country have to take a decision on this.
So how long are you going to do this as we wind up on this conversation? Because you see, there seems to be a standoff between yourselves and the government.
So we think that this will not last too long. We don't think that the government will be so insensitive as to make this the status quo. And Trevor, I just want to mention that it is not private hospitals only. Public hospitals are struggling. And if today Kenyans go to public hospitals, they are experiencing shortages of drugs. They have never asked themselves, why do public hospitals not have drugs? It's the same problems we are experiencing. The only difference between these private and faith hospitals is we can speak up. Yeah. And we can come out and say, hey, no. This was not the promise we gave to Kenyans, and you are exposing them. I think that the government will respond to the cries of Kenyans. And as I said, this is not about hospitals. Hospitals will adjust somehow. This is about Kenyan people.
Do you have another scheduled meeting?
Yeah, hopefully, there's no scheduled meeting for payments. There's a scheduled meeting on the outpatient reimbursement mechanism, which again, we have insisted is the wrong mechanism. Trevor, you know today that for you to get care in Kenya, you have to start at level 2 and 3 before you are referred to a level 4. Yeah. When we went through public participation, the promise was that at level 4, you will be paid for to see a specialist. We are not going to refer. You don't get to see the same level of patient, of doctor at the lower level. And there was even a reimbursement mechanism. How many Kenyans are going to level 4 hospitals and they find a specialist who is covered by SHA? These are the things we are not agreeing to. We are saying, instead of painting hospitals as the bad guys, can you meet your side of the bargain so that we can provide the kind of care that we have promised to the Kenyan people? Okay. And we are afraid that this is endangering Kenyans, because when we have to cut the cost of everything so as we fit into the budget, what are we going to give patients?
Okay. Dr. Brian Lishenga, thanks for making time. The chairman of the RUFA, Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association of Kenya. Will see how it turns out once the meetings are done and see way forward. It's important to mention that we did invite the SHA officials. They didn't make it. They didn't have the latitude to come. All right? We're taking a quick break here. When we come back, there's still a lot more coming through on the Monday Report, so don't go too far. Boosting tourism. Kenya received 17 mountain bongos which had been repatriated from Florida, USA.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Mabati Factory offers the best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. With over 10 years experience, our products have 15 years warranty and are KEBS certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S profile among others in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us on 0111 050 700.
Do you have a passion for the medical and health professions? Train at Jordan College of Technology, which is a brand recognized locally and internationally. We are now announcing our March intake in our School of Medical in courses like Orthopedic and Trauma Medicine, Perioperative Theatre, Dental Surgery Assistant, Caregiver, Medical Engineering, Nutrition, Health Records, Health Services Support, Community Health, Social Work, Science Laboratory, Optical, and more. We boast modern skills laboratories and we have partnered with key hospitals for clinical rotations. Apply now for March intake and train with the best. Visit us at our new ultra-modern campus, Jordan Towers, Thika Town. Jordan College of Technology, the leading TVET and medical institution in Kenya.
Ramadhani ndio hii.
Ni msimu ambao thawabu zake ni nyingi.
Na kumfuturisha mtu una ajiri yake.
Usipitwe na hii fursa adhimu ya kuweza kuwafuturisha Waislamu wasiojiweza.
Join us for our 2025 food pack campaign as we aspire to feed 5,000 families.
Stubborn stains, Classic Detergent Powder inakuja na suluhisho rahisi. Inatoa uchafu kwa urahisi, gentle kwa mikono na unaipata kwa bei nafuu. Usiwachwe nyuma. Choose Classic. Ng'ara na Classic.
This Tuesday on Power Talk with Yvonne Okwara, Japheth Ogalo, Managing Director of Old Mutual General Insurance Kenya, breaks down the rising demand for medical insurance and its role in an evolving economy where more Kenyans are diversifying their income streams. Power Talk, Tuesday at 9 p.m.
Do you have a passion for the medical and health professions? Train at Jordan College of Technology, which is a brand recognized locally and internationally. We are now announcing our March intake in our School of Medical in courses like Orthopedic and Trauma Medicine, Perioperative Theatre, Dental Surgery Assistant, Caregiver, Medical Engineering, Nutrition, Health Records, Health Services Support, Community Health, Social Work, Science Laboratory, Optical and more. We boast modern skills laboratories and we have partnered with key hospitals for clinical rotations. Apply now for March intake and train with the best. Visit us at our new ultra-modern campus, Jordan Towers, Thika Town. Jordan College of Technology, the leading TVET and medical institution in Kenya.
When it comes to roofing, quality is key. At Kidani Mabati, we offer the best. Strong, durable, and built to last. Choose Kidani Prime for style, corrugated for a classic touch, Kidani Tile for elegance, or Box Profile for strength. Pay and pick in just 24 hours within Nairobi. Plus, enjoy free delivery straight to your site.
Call us on 0709 118 300.
O Kidani Mabati, boresha mjengo na Kidani Mabati.
With over 74,000 members and an
Please, Kaima, I love you. Please, Kaima, forgive me.
WRC Safari Rally 2025. Revisha and feel the roar.
Thank you for staying with the Monday Report. I'm afraid I have some sad news here. Veteran journalist and former KTN news anchor Njoroge Mwaura has passed away while undergoing treatment at a Nairobi hospital. A respected figure in the media industry, Mwaura was known for his eloquent news presentation and in-depth coverage of major political and socio-economic stories. Mwaura, who retired in 2013, has been remembered as a mentor and an inspirational figure who shaped the careers of many young journalists. The Deputy Chief of Staff at the Executive Office of the President in charge of performance and delivery management, Eliud Owalo, described him as a media icon with a deep understanding of the industry. Though his voice has gone silent, his legacy in journalism continues to inspire generations. And may he rest in peace. Now, former IBC Chair Wafula Chebukati will be laid to rest on March 8th at his farm in Kitale. Family says that the late Chebukati suffered a cardiac arrest and that a post-mortem will be conducted to further establish the cause of his death. Chebukati died on Friday after a long illness.
The family, we are saddened with this loss. And the family, for purposes of the fact that he was a public figure, and for purpose of keeping good records for posterity, his grandchildren and anybody else, the family is still considering a post-mortem. The burial has been confirmed for the 8th of March at his farm in Sabata, within Kitale, within Trans Nzoia County.
Now, police in Makueni, working together with Interpol in Nairobi, have made a grisly discovery. A body believed to be that of missing British national Campbell Scott has been found dumped along the Machakos Wote Road. The lifeless body with a charred face was discovered days after the 58-year-old businessman vanished under mysterious circumstances. Scott arrived in Kenya on the 16th of this month to attend a conference at a Nairobi hotel, but disappeared without a trace the very next day. In a twist to the investigation, police have arrested 2 suspects, including a taxi driver believed to be connected to the incident, and the body has been moved to Nairobi, awaiting an autopsy to confirm the identity and determine the cause of death. A mystery that deepens as investigations continue. Now, Kenya has received 17 rare mountain bongos repatriated from the USA. The endangered animals are expected to boost their population here in Kenya. They will be quarantined in a sanctuary in Meru before being reintegrated into a natural habitat.
A night flight at the JKIA brings with it a special delivery for the country and her conservation efforts. Aboard the cargo plane were over a dozen animals making their return home after being away for years in Florida, USA. The 17 mountain bongos are the 3rd generation of mountain bongos that were taken from Kenya to the USA in the 1960s. Their return, a major boost to Kenya's efforts to increase their numbers.
Committed ourselves through KWS to a bold and unprecedented vision to grow the population of this majestic herbivore to 750 individuals over the next 50 years. Today's repatriation is a critical step towards realizing this vision.
We already have hundreds of mountain bongos in the US and particularly in California. Once we are able to successfully release these 17, we are looking into bringing the other individuals that are there to come and repatriate them.
This is the second batch of mountain bongos that have been brought back to Kenya. In 2004, Kenya received a group of the same animals and is also expecting a 3rd batch soon.
Let us remember that their survival depends on all of us. Conservation is not the responsibility of a single entity or organization or government. Rather, it is a shared duty requiring the involvement of all, including government, communities, private sector partners, international collaborators, communities.
Mountain bongos are a rare and critically endangered subspecies of the bongo antelope and are endemic to Kenya. They are known to inhabit the dense Aberdare and Mount Kenya forests. This batch of bongos will be held in isolation in Meru to acclimatize before being released into their natural habitat, where hopefully they will produce a different breed that will stem the feared extinction of the species. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Samburu and Bungoma counties recorded a drop in the number of gender violence cases in 2024 compared to the previous year. The cases were, however, up in Kilifi, where a total of 327 cases were recorded in 2024, up from 311, representing a 16% increase. The success in lowering the numbers has been attributed to a program rolled out in those counties through the support from the Finnish government. While commending Finland for the support, Gender Principal Secretary Anne Wangombe pledged to enforce measures outlined in combating femicide cases in the country.
We are against those out-of-court settlements if the cases touch on gender-based violence. We are so much against those kind of settlements, and we are making a clarion call to all that let us not settle matters out of court if they are touching on gender-based violence.
FGM is the worst form of gender-based violence meted on women and girls. And what happens is that you are made to feel like in your community, if you're not cut, then you don't belong. And that is what is really making it hard for the women who have gone through female genital mutilation, and even for the communities to really stop it. Because we found FGM going on, we as a community just continued with it. But there's no problem of us sitting down and really looking at our culture and saying what are the good and what are the bad. So for us, where we sit as women leaders, FGM, and even the world internationally, FGM is against, human rights. It's a human rights violation.
All right, on that note, let's take another quick break. In Monday Report, we're back with much more in just a bit, so don't go too far.
BAT profits decline even as they announce final dividend payout of 50 cents per share.
One campus, 3 locations. Welcome to the future of healthcare education. This is Imperial College of Medical and Health Sciences, introducing our Nakuru campus. The next generation of healthcare professionals is secure with us, offering you education grounded in theory but built on real-world application. March 2025 intake is now open. Please call us on 0719-223-223. Imperial College of Medical and Health Sciences. Committed to professional excellence.
Indulge in that moment. With every spoonful of Delamere real fruit yogurt.
Please can I have that and that? Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Ukiwin, beshte yako in your local shop win too. Hii ni the Cadbury Big Win-Win. Nunua any 2 participating Cadbury products. Scan QR code ama WhatsApp hi kunominate beshte yako in your local shop. Stand a chance ya kushinda share yako in cash prizes plus more. A win for you is a win for all. T's and C's apply.
Utamu wa ugali, chapati, mahamri unapatikana ndani ya Tuten.
Introducing Best Classic Whiskey, expertly crafted to reach taste that marks a deeply rewarding, authentic whiskey. Elevate your moments and make them your own with Best London Dry Gin. Every sip is a celebration of exquisite quality. Whether you're enjoying time with friends, Best Vodka allows you to ultimately extend into creativity and adventure. Best Vodka is triple distilled for an extra smooth, pure taste. Best, define your moment.
Najua nyama hiyo inaonekana laini, lakini pengine si hivyo wakati unakiungulia. Unakumbuka kilichofanyika wakati uliopita? Unajijaribu mwenyewe. Nilijaribu kukujali. Acha tuone umbali utakaofika. Unaona sasa kiungulia kinakupelekaje? Ona sasa, kinakuchoma.
Usiugue katika hali yoyote. Ino inafanya kazi haraka kuondoa dalili 6 za kiungulia.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Oporeno 13 live photo maridadi. Video kali na ni 4K imagine. IP69 certified, hii ndio latest design. Piga picha ya edit kusaidia kurefine.
Take a shot and shine. Take a shot and shine.
Toilet cleaners offer better cleaning than detergents as they are specially formulated to remove stains, therefore saving you time and money.
New Harpic Kadogo. While other cleaners flow away, Harpic has a high viscous formula that gives you a sparkling clean toilet with only one round of application. Harpic offers 10 times better cleaning than other cleaning products and great savings too. Harpic Kadogo at only 60 shillings.
Inua Jamii is now closer, faster and easier. For all beneficiaries, Inua Jamii payments are now accessible via mobile money, ensuring quicker and more convenient transactions. It's easy. All beneficiaries need an active M-Pesa number. Just simply register today at any Safaricom shop or M-Pesa agent for only 100 shillings. Inua Jamii is a government cash transfer program supporting registered and eligible persons 70 plus, households with orphans and vulnerable children, and persons with severe disabilities, helping them lead a dignified life.
Time now for some business news. In British American Tobacco, that's BAT, has posted a decline in profit after tax to 4.48 billion shillings for the year ending December 31st, 2024. The company's cost increased significantly to 829 million shillings. Jimmy Mbogo now takes a look at the tobacco manufacturer's performance.
In the period ending December 31st, 2024, British American Tobacco has experienced significant volatility, ranging from an unstable operating environment, lower consumer purchasing power, and supply disruption. Factors that led the tobacco company to record a 19.49% profit decline and an 8% decline in operating profit, which stood at 7.3 billion shillings, down from 7.9 billion shillings the previous year. Despite the headwinds, the business saw a 23% growth in cash generated to 10.42 billion shillings, up from 8.48 the previous year.
In the domestic market, we experienced political tensions as witnessed during the Manda Mando or Gen Z protests. Our consumers also continue to be stretched due to the economic environment, leading to depressed incomes and affordability challenges and subsequent shifts in consumption.
BAT's woes further persisted with the increase of counterfeit in the market, which are estimated to account for 37% of cigarettes in the Kenyan market, further denying the government a total of 9 billion shillings in revenue annually. However, it is the strengthening of the Kenya shilling against the US dollar that weighed heavily on BAT's earnings.
Our export revenues represent almost half of our turnover. Due to the steep appreciation of the Kenyan shilling witnessed in the first quarter of 2024, we experienced both exchange losses and lower revenue collections in shillings.
In the year under review, BAT posted a 4% increase in its operating cost to stand at 18.4 billion shillings, a reflection of higher cost of doing business. Despite a demonstrably tough year, the company is set to pay a final dividend of 50 cents per share to its shareholders. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
So Kenya Airways has signed a memorandum of understanding with London Metropolitan University to enhance aviation education and workforce development. The agreement is looking to strengthen collaboration between academia and industry by providing KQ employees with specialized training, academic advancement, and access to cutting-edge aviation research.
It's part of our transformation journey for upskilling our people with new learnings, modern learning, new ways of working. So our idea is to make sure that we give people from Kenya Airways access to quality learning. Now, London Metropolitan is a renowned institution in training aviation-specific courses. So that is why we are getting into an MOU with them, so that they can offer those courses primarily to our people to begin with, and then subsequently to other aviation professionals, and then, of course, to the general public as well.
Through this partnership, there'll be courses in aviation management and digital aviation futures. We recognise that the skills we might have today may not be the right skills for tomorrow. And so all the time we're looking at what we can do. We're also recognising that people might have one time wanted to be a pilot, but now they want to open their eyes and perhaps do other things on the ground. And so these kind of courses give people options to work in cargo, to work in tourism and trade, and it just opens doors to people to give them other opportunities.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has launched a reform process geared towards improving efficiency, streamlining operations, and enhancing customer services at the authority. As part of the transformation, KRA will now integrate large and medium taxpayers into one unit, while micro and small taxpayers form another. This realignment, KRA says, will offer more personalized taxpayer support and expand the tax base. Additionally, the taxman will introduce a new technology focused department dubbed the Business Strategy, Technology and Enterprise Modernization Department. This will help strengthening digital infrastructure and automation. KRA maintains that service delivery will remain uninterrupted throughout the process. All right, from business, let's take a quick break. We're back with sporting action in just a bit.
Introducing Best Classic Whiskey, expertly crafted to reach taste that marks a deeply rewarding, authentic whiskey. Elevate your moments and make them your own with Best London Dry Gin. Every sip is a celebration of exquisite quality. Whether you're enjoying time with friends, Best Vodka allows you to ultimately extend into creativity and adventure. Best Vodka is triple distilled for an extra smooth, pure taste. Best, define your moment.
Oporeno 13 live photo maridadi, video kali na ni 4K maji, IP69 certified, hii ndio latest design, piga picha ya edit kusaidia kurefine.
Take a shot and shine, take a shot and shine.
Tumegola 2024 Gen Z wanipeleka watu bio. Ubina show life. Nimeshika pesa kidogo nikaweka Ibagaro. Watoto wamekuwa wakubwa. The only thing that has remained constant ni hii mabati.
Kwa nyumba maridadi na mabati ya kudumu, tumia Zinco Mabati. Zinco Mabati, where roofing meets perfection. Call 0758 222288. We deliver for free countrywide.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra. It's boosted by caffeine for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
Mabrother, chekini story flani la penjuzi mtani record manze.
Lakini bro, kazi itakuwa tu ni kujaza simu na hizi mavida.
Ai, kujinice tu kaka.
Mwananchi ndani huyo anarada medalia pesa.
Leta tenje ni kushow vile tutaomoka. Citizen Digital wako na platform flani kwa site yao inaitwa Wananchi Reporting. Hapa unaweza tuma story yako kwa website yao ama kwa app yao ya Citizen Digital. Na kama hiyo process ni ngumu, unaweza tuma story kwa email yao, WhatsApp number ama uitumie kama SMS.
Alafu gani napataje bro?
After story yako imepublishiwa, hapo ndo una receive 1000 kwa simu yako.
Bro, au umenichanua.
Don't just witness the news, be part of breaking it. Download the Citizen Digital app and share your story with Wananchi Reporting today.
Citizen Digital.
Since 2012, Al Khair Foundation has provided Ramadan food packs to more than 530,000 fasting Muslims in need across Kenya.
As you fast, you get to remember those who struggle to find a basic meal to break their fast.
Donate today and make a difference.
Stop stubborn stains, Classic Detergent Powder inakuja na suluhisho rahisi. Inatoa uchafu kwa urahisi, gentle kwa mikono na unaipata kwa bei nafuu. Usiwachwe nyuma. Choose Classic. Ng'ara na Classic.
Know your budget and explore financing options like mortgage solutions.
At DTB, we understand that a home is not just an address. With an interest rate as low as 9% and up to 105% financing, DTB. Bank with us, bank on us.
Kenya's Gold.
Unasema usiteme bigiji kukaranga za konjesho.
Kumaanisha
Sour Petroleum Jelly repairs dry skin like no other. Easy to spread and non-sticky like no other. Great quality product from Pwani Oil.
Well, it's time now for some sporting action. In the 300-acre Twisty 2-track circuit in Kiambu County hosted the second leg of the National Autocross Championship, with 40 drivers braving the heat and dust for a thrilling event on Sunday. In the four-wheel drive T-class, Harpreet Singh Bogal was in imperious form as he won all three heats, followed by Sushi Gohil and John Kadivani. In the final results, though, Rajveer Theti won the four-wheel drive category, with Shabaz Anwar taking the squad bikes class. Ian Duncan was the winner in the two-wheel drive T-buggy class, as Pius Jiru scooped the seniors two-wheel drive NT class. Other winners of the outing were Neil Gohil, who won the open class, Jose Sardinia four-wheel drive non-turbo, and Cheche Ababu in the cadet junior. Now, the focus in autocross has been on the junior drivers, who are now receiving sponsorship for better training and coaching. 6 drivers, some as young as 80 years old, are being groomed.
On the next round, we want to invite even 60. As you see, this place is more of a tight fit, but we want to go somewhere else. We can invite 60 and run it over 2 days or even 3 days.
This is building talent that soon will be global. When we grew up, we heard of Joginder Singh, we heard of Shekameta, etc. Where are they today? These young lads you see here today will be the Shekametas, the Joginder Singhs of tomorrow.
Now, still on motorsport, the KCB Racing Team drivers Nikhil Sachania and Karan Patel have stepped up their training for the Safari Rally, the third leg of the World Rally Championships, as a WRC, scheduled for March 20th to 23rd in 2025 in Naivasha town. Over the past weekend, the duo put their cars to the test in Athi River as they fine-tuned their machines ahead of the global competition. Africa Rally champion Karan Patel says they are done with testing the car, and it will now undergo a major overhaul, including the engine, the gearbox and other critical components, to ensure peak performance ahead of the rally. Karan will compete in a Skoda R5 car, while Nikhil Sachania, the only paraplegic driver in WRC calendar, recently acquired a Ford Fiesta Rally 3. Sachania is out to get mileage on the car and fine-tune its suspension settings to handle the unforgiving Safari Rally terrain.
Our roads are much tougher, a bit more unforgiving. So we were just here out to feel the car, do some suspension settings, and just to get an overall gauge of what needs to be done just in preps for the Safari.
Following the engine rebuild, we have a new turbo and a new engine in the car, so definitely there's a bit more power to utilize. And I found a bit more power in our third gear. So gear 3 now with a bit more torque means hopefully a better pace in Safari.
Now, 15 girls between the ages of 13 and 16 years have been selected to take part in the Basketball Africa League Ball for Her camp to be conducted in Nairobi next weekend. The 15 girls impressed the selectors during the first Junior NBA and Safaricom tournament at the Sabi School in Nairobi. Olympic Junior Secondary School team won the girls' tournament after thrashing St. John 25-3. Olympic sailed through as group leaders, then went on to hammer Daima Junior Secondary School 26-4. In the boys' competition, St. John turned the tables on Olympic, edging them out 17-14. St. John had a tough time in the semis before sailing through 12-10 winners against favourites Makini School. 500 junior players from 24 schools took part in the tournament. NBA and Safaricom will hold similar tournaments in Mombasa, Kisumu and Eldoret.
Most of them, as they're going through to the countryside, to their grandmother's places, most of our team remained back to train. So they trained over the whole holiday, and these rewards are showing right now.
My boys are undersized, so somehow the other team was so physical, but we shot the ball, I guess you guys, so we became tactical. We realized that they were not guarding the three-point line well, so we decided to take those shots up, and eventually we won.
Now, the national women football team Harambee Starlets left for Tunisia on Monday morning for the return leg of the Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Tunisia forced a barren draw against Kenya on Friday to have a slight advantage when the two sides meet in Tunis. Coach Beldin Odemba has a full squad to choose from and will have 4 days of training in Tunisia ahead of the second leg. Harambee Starlets must score away from home if they are to advance to the next round. All right, that wraps up the Monday Report. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of everyone who made this possible, say good night and God bless. Bye for now. My name is Trevor Ombija.